Hi, I'm Wal Galbraith. I'm a part of the Ray White South Coast Group, and this is your South Coast Snapshot for Week 6, 2023. The snapshot is designed to give you a bite-sized breakdown of the real estate market overall, including local, regional and city-based information across Australia. All information is sourced from the AFR, leading economists on Twitter, and the Sydney Morning Herald. All information is relevant to buyers, property owners or both. Australia's massive pool of savings will emerge as the economy's weapon in defeating any recessionary risk this year, as consumers lean on their cash buffers to meet rising mortgage costs and defy the higher cost of living. The Reserve Bank's policy pause may be in sight, but its monetary tightening cycle is not finished yet. Queensland Investment Corp Chief Economist Matthew Peter expects 2 further interest rate rises in February and March, implying some moderate pain for borrowers. Households will still be able to draw on that savings buffer to support consumer spending so that we don't go into a consumer recession in the first half of the year, says Peter. That will be enough to support the economy. Rental houses in Sydney's affluent eastern suburbs delivered landlords nearly $20,000 in extra income over the past 12 months, powered by strong demand and scarce supply, data from CoreLogic shows. Cloverleigh was the biggest earner, notching a $381 rise in weekly rent to $1,828 a week, handing landlords an extra $19,812 over the year. High demand and low rental stock also lifted Rose Bay house rents by $352 a week to $22.42, an additional $18,000 in landlords' pockets. It looks like this will be a landlord's market for some time yet, especially when we consider the influx of overseas migration, which is set to flow directly and immediately into rental demand, said Tim Lawless, CoreLogic Research Director. House prices are now 11.3% below their early 22 peak, but are still 24.2% higher than where they were when the market troughed in mid-2020. Domain Chief of Research and Economics Dr. Nicola Powell said the housing market posted its steepest annual decline on Domain records, which date back to 1993. ANZ senior economist Felicity Emmett expected the shift to higher rates for many homeowners would lead to a sharp pullback in consumer spending, rather than a lift on distressed listings, as the high employment rate should limit forced sales. She has forecast Sydney prices to keep falling and decline 18% from peak to trough, based on expectations that the cash rate would peak at 3.85% and hold steady until rate cuts start in late 2024. Sales of newly built homes slumped by 4.6% nationwide in the December quarter, the sharpest decline since the onset of the pandemic, as demand dried up amid rising interest rates, a new HII report shows. Existing house sales also plummeted by 27.3% in the fourth quarter, compared with the same period in the previous year, fueled by low listings according to CoreLogic. The back-to-back increases in the cash rate have forced many recent buyers of new homes to dump their contracts, sparking a jump in cancellation rates to 20.3% during December, the second month in a row when cancellation rates hit 20%. Before the pandemic, termination rates were typically below 10%. A small number of builders also reported negative sales in December, where more contracts were cancelled than sold. This reflects both the change in the purchasing power of the customer and the builders restructuring their businesses to reflect a weaker market, according to Mr. Devitt. With 1 in 5 customers cancelling their new home building projects each month, the pipeline of building work will be eroded quickly. Inflation remains too high and was accelerating late last year, eliminating the case for a near-term pause in interest rates. The bottom line is that the Reserve Bank of Australia will be concerned that its preferred measure of underlying inflation, which strips out some of the volatile items, was above its most recent forecast issued in November. Inflation may have peaked, but the RBA will have more interest rate work to do in February and March to take the cash rate to 3.6% and possibly beyond thereafter to get inflation back towards its 2% to 3% target. Reflecting that high interest rates loom, the Australian dollar pushed above 71 US cents on Wednesday. House prices in most parts of regional New South Wales are higher than 1 year ago, and experts warn ongoing demand from city buyers has permanently lifted prices. Many regional council areas recorded double-digit growth in the year to December, despite Sydney's sharp property downturn, the latest Domain house price report reveals. Far-flung areas led the way, such as Glen Innes, Seven Shire, and a 7-hour drive from Sydney, jumped 30.8% from a year earlier to a median of $340,000. That was followed by neighbouring Armidale Regional Council, which jumped 29.6% to $520,000, and the Upper Hunter, which jumped 22% to $455,000. Typical borrowers facing this year's fixed-rate mortgage cliff will have to pay about $2,700 more a month if they do nothing and are rolled onto their lender's standard variable rate, says Rate City, which monitors home loans. But by refinancing to one of the lower variable rates, they could reduce the interest to just $1,600 a month, saving just under 40%. This is based on an owner-occupier repaying a $1 million principal and interest fixed loan. The example assumes the Reserve Bank of Australia will increase the base rate from 3.1% to 3.8% by May, in line with Westpac and ANZ forecasts. Looking for refinance options for yourself? Feel free to reach out so we can get you in touch with our in-house loan market mortgage broking specialists. Looking to make the best use of the current market? If you're either expanding your property portfolio or looking to sell your current property, get in touch today. We'd love to help. I'm Wal Galbraith with the Ray White South Coast Group, and that was your South Coast Snapshot for Week 6, 2023. Be well.